Hey Aries, I need to share something with you that just came through in this reading and honestly it's given me chills. Someone has been asking tarot about you, and what came up for them was absolutely not what they expected. I'm talking about a complete reality shift here and you need to know what's happening in this energy right now. So I just pulled cards for what someone has been consulting tarot about regarding you and Aries. The first card that came through is the Hermit. This person went to tarot hoping for one answer, but what they got instead was this deep introspective energy that basically told them they need to go within and face some truths about themselves first. Like they thought they were going to get validation or confirmation about you, but instead the cards were like, no, let's talk about your journey and your inner work that needs to happen. The Hermit energy is so interesting here because it's showing me that when they asked about you, the universe essentially held up a mirror to them instead. They were probably asking questions like, does this person still think about me, or should I reach out to them, or what do they really feel about me? And the cards came back with this energy of solitude and self-reflection. That had to sting honestly, because nobody goes to tarot expecting to be told they need to work on themselves when they're asking about someone else. What's really fascinating about the Hermit showing up in this position is that it's revealing something about their own isolation right now. This person is in a space where they're realizing that all this time they spent focusing on you or obsessing over the connection or whatever was happening between you two has actually led them to a place of being alone with their thoughts and their regrets. The lantern the Hermit carries represents truth. And what I'm seeing is that the truth they discovered through asking tarot about you was not comfortable at all. They might have been hoping the cards would tell them that you're missing them, or that you're going to come back, or that there's still hope for reconciliation, but instead they got this card that essentially said you need to look at why you're even asking these questions in the first place. What void are you trying to fill, and what lessons have you not learned yet? That's powerful, Aries, because it shows that even when this person tried to focus on you, the universe redirected the reading back to their own healing journey. The second card that appeared is Seven of Cups, and oh my goodness, Aries, this is where things get really interesting. So, after getting the Hermit, they probably pulled more cards because they weren't satisfied with that answer, right? And Seven of Cups came through, which is all about illusions and fantasies, and having too many options but none of them being real or grounded. This tells me that when this person asked tarot about you, they were living in a fantasy land about what the connection was or what it could be. They had built up all these scenarios in their head about you and them and the relationship, and the cards basically shattered every single one of those illusions. Seven of Cups is such a revealing card here because it shows that this person has been seeing what they wanted to see rather than what was actually real. Maybe they convinced themselves that you were thinking about them constantly, or that you regretted walking away, or that you were just playing hard to get and eventually you'd come around. The tarot was like, no, actually you've been living in delusion and it's time to wake up. What really strikes me about Seven of Cups in this reading is the element of choice and confusion. This person might have been asking tarot to help them choose between different paths or approaches with you. Should they reach out, or should they wait, or should they move on, or should they try one more time? And the cards showed them that all of those options they were considering were based on false premises. It's like they were standing in front of 7 cups filled with different visions of what could happen with you. But when the mist cleared, none of those cups contained anything real. That moment of clarity must have been devastating for them. Aries, imagine spending all this time, energy, and emotional investment into someone and then having a tarot reading basically tell you that everything you believed about the situation was a fantasy you created in your own mind. The Seven of Cups doesn't just represent confusion. It represents the moment when someone realizes they've been chasing illusions and that reality is very different from what they imagined. Moving into the third card, which is the Moon, and Aries, I have to tell you, this card appearing in their reading about you is massive. The Moon is all about fear, anxiety, hidden truths, and things not being as they seem. When this person asked tarot about you and the Moon showed up, it revealed that there has been a lot of deception happening. Either they were deceiving themselves about the situation, or there were hidden factors they weren't aware of, or both. The Moon energy suggests that this person has been operating in darkness when it comes to you. They haven't had the full picture, and what they thought they knew was clouded by their own projections and fears. This card also indicates that when they consulted tarot about you, what came up scared them. The Moon can bring up deep subconscious fears and anxieties, and I'm seeing that this person got confronted with fears they didn't even know they had about you, about themselves, about the connection. The Moon is such a complex card. And in this context, it's showing me that the tarot reading brought to surface all the things this person was avoiding looking at. Maybe they were afraid to face the truth that you've moved on, or that you never felt the same way they did, or that they sabotaged something good through their own actions. And the moon forced all of that into their awareness. There's also this element with the moon of not being able to trust your own perception, and that's exactly what happened when they asked about you. They realized they couldn't trust their own read of the situation, their own memories, their own interpretation of past events. Everything became questionable and uncertain, and that's an incredibly uncomfortable place to be. The moon also rules the subconscious mind, so this reading might have tapped into their dreams or their intuition in a way that really unsettled them. Maybe they had been having dreams about you and they asked tarot to interpret those dreams, and what they discovered was that those dreams were showing them their own fears and unresolved issues rather than any real psychic connection to you. Now the fourth card is Four of Pentacles, and this is where the reading really starts to hit them, where it hurts financially, emotionally, and in terms of their sense of security. Four of Pentacles represents holding on tightly, being possessive, fear of loss, and resistance to change. When this person asked tarot about you, this card revealed that they have been holding on to the idea of you or the memory of what you had together with a death grip. They've been unable to let go, unable to open themselves up to new possibilities because they're so focused on not losing you, even though Aries, you might have already moved on completely. This card shows me that their question to tarot was rooted in this desperate need to maintain control over the situation with you, to hold on to whatever connection existed, to possess your energy in some way, even if it's just in their own mind. The Four of Pentacles also speaks to emotional stinginess. And I'm getting that this person might have been withholding something from you when you were connected, whether that was their true feelings or their vulnerability or their commitment, and now they're realizing the cost of that holding back. When the tarot showed them this card, it was essentially saying you held on too tightly to the wrong things and you didn't invest properly in the connection when you had the chance, and now you're sitting here clinging to scraps and memories. There's also a financial or material element to Four of Pentacles, so this could literally be about money or resources or practical matters that got tangled up in whatever happened between you two. Maybe this person was stingy or controlling about money, or maybe they valued material security over emotional connection, and the tarot reading exposed that pattern to them. The Four of Pentacles appearing when they asked about you basically told them that their approach has been all about fear and control rather than love and openness, and that's why things are the way they are now. The fifth card that came through is Nine of Swords in Aries. This is the card of anxiety, nightmares, sleepless nights, and mental anguish. When this person consulted tarot about you and this card appeared, it revealed that thinking about you has been causing them serious mental distress. We're talking about someone who wakes up at 3 in the morning with their mind racing about you, about what went wrong, about what they should have done differently, about whether there's any chance to fix things. Nine of Swords is one of the most painful cards in the deck because it represents that kind of suffering that happens in your own head, the worst-case scenarios, the ruminating thoughts, the self-torture. The fact that this card came up when they asked about you shows that their mental state regarding this connection has been really dark and troubled. What I find particularly striking about Nine of Swords here is that it validates that this person hasn't been at peace since whatever happened between you two. They've been losing sleep over you, literally and figuratively. And when they went to tarot, hoping to find some relief or answers, they instead got confirmation that yes, this situation is causing you deep psychological pain, and yes, you need to address that. The Nine of Swords can also indicate guilt and regret, like they're being haunted by things they did or didn't do when it comes to you. Maybe they hurt you, and they can't stop thinking about it, or maybe they let something good slip away and they're tormented by that missed opportunity. When the cards showed them Nine of Swords in response to their questions about you, it was basically the universe saying this is what obsessing over someone who has moved on or who you can't have does to your mental health, and you need to recognize how much damage this is doing to you. Moving to the sixth card, which is the Tower, and honestly, Aries, when I saw this card come up for what they discovered through tarot about you, my jaw dropped. The Tower is the card of sudden upheaval, destruction of false structures, shocking revelations, and complete paradigm shifts. This person asked tarot about you and got hit with the Tower energy, which means the reading absolutely shattered whatever beliefs or hopes or expectations they had built up. The Tower doesn't mess around, it tears down everything that isn't built on truth and authenticity. And what I'm seeing is that this person's entire perception of you, of the relationship, of the situation, got completely demolished by what the cards told them. This wasn't a gentle wake-up call, this was a full-blown reality check that probably left them reeling. The Tower appearing in their reading about you suggests that they learned something that changed everything. Maybe the cards revealed that you never felt the way they thought you did, or that you've completely moved on, or that there were things happening behind the scenes they had no clue about, or that their behavior drove you away in ways they didn't realize. Whatever the Tower revealed, it was sudden, it was shocking, and it was undeniable. There's no going back to ignorance after the Tower shows up. You can't unsee what's been revealed, you can't rebuild the same false structures, you can't pretend things are different than they are. This card in their reading about you essentially blew up whatever fantasy or false hope they were clinging to and forced them to see the raw truth. The Tower can be incredibly painful in the moment because it feels like everything is falling apart, but ultimately it clears the way for something more authentic to be built. For this person though, in that moment when they got the Tower in response to asking about you, it must have felt like their world was crashing down. The seventh card is the Devil and Aries. This is such a significant card to appear when someone is asking tarot about another person. The Devil represents unhealthy attachments, obsession, toxic patterns, addiction, codependency, and being trapped by your own choices. When this person consulted the cards about you, the Devil showed up to reveal that whatever they're feeling for you, or whatever is keeping them connected to you energetically, is not healthy. This is not love, this is obsession, this is not connection, this is attachment, this is not hope, this is denial. The Devil card is so confronting because it shows us where we've given our power away, where we've become enslaved to our own desires or fears or patterns. And in this case, it's revealing that this person's focus on you has become a form of bondage for them. What makes the Devil particularly powerful in this reading is that it shows this person that they are choosing to stay stuck. The figures in the Devil card have loose chains around their necks. They could walk away if they wanted to, but they don't, and that's exactly what's happening here. This person is choosing to remain attached to you, to keep asking about you, to keep obsessing over the situation even though it's clearly not serving them, even though you've likely moved on, even though the universe through tarot is basically screaming at them to break free. The Devil also points to shadow aspects and unhealthy behaviors, so the cards might have revealed to this person some of their own toxic patterns that played out in whatever relationship or connection you had. Maybe they were controlling or manipulative or jealous or possessive, and the Devil is forcing them to confront those shadow sides of themselves. When someone asks tarot about you and gets the Devil, it's the universe saying your attachment to this person has become unhealthy, and you need to recognize the chains you've put on yourself and choose to break free. The eighth card that appeared is Seven of Wands, and this is really interesting because Seven of Wands is about defending your position, standing your ground, fighting off competition or opposition, and maintaining your boundaries against challenges. When this person asked tarot about you and Seven of Wands came up, it revealed something about how they perceive the situation with you, or maybe what they discovered about your current stance. I'm seeing that the cards showed them you are defending your space, you are standing firm in your decisions, you are not backing down, and you're actively protecting yourself from any attempts they might make to get back in. Seven of Wands suggests that if they were hoping the tarot would tell them you're open to reconciliation or that your defenses are down, they got the complete opposite message. This card also indicates that maybe the reading revealed to them that you're dealing with other people or other options, or that there's competition for your attention and energy and they're not in the position they thought they were. Seven of Wands can show someone who is fighting to maintain what's theirs, and in this context it could mean you're fighting to maintain your peace, your boundaries, your new life without them. The defensive energy of Seven of Wands coming up when they asked about you probably made them realize that any approach they make toward you is going to be met with resistance, that you're not just passively existing in their absence, but actively protecting yourself from any disruption they might cause. This card basically told them you are not an easy target, you are not sitting around waiting, you are not vulnerable to their influence. And that realization must have been sobering for them. The ninth card is Eight of Swords and Aries. This card is so revealing about what this person discovered through their tarot reading about you. Eight of Swords represents feeling trapped, restricted, blindfolded, and unable to see a way forward. When this card appeared in their reading about you, it showed them that they are the ones who are trapped, not you. They're trapped by their own thoughts, their own fears, their own inability to see the situation clearly and move forward. The Eight of Swords often depicts someone who is blindfolded and bound. But the bindings are loose, and the swords around them aren't actually touching them. Which means the imprisonment is self-imposed, and that's exactly what the cards revealed to this person about their situation with you. What I find really powerful about Eight of Swords showing up here is that it demonstrates to this person that they've been operating from a place of victim mentality or helplessness when it comes to you. Maybe they felt like they couldn't move on, or they couldn't let go, or they couldn't stop thinking about you, and the cards essentially said actually, you can, you're just choosing not to remove the blindfold and walk away from the swords. Eight of Swords can also indicate mental restriction and limiting beliefs. So the tarot reading might have revealed to this person that their beliefs about you, about the situation, about what's possible or not possible are what's keeping them stuck. They might believe you're the only one for them, or that they can't be happy without you, or that they need closure from you to move forward, and Eight of Swords is showing them those beliefs are the prison, not the actual circumstances. The cards basically told them you have more freedom and power than you think. You just need to remove the blindfold and see the truth. And finally, Aries, the 10th card that came through is the Chariot, and this is such a powerful card to end on because the Chariot is all about victory, determination, willpower, forward movement, and being in control of your direction. When this person asked tarot about you and the Chariot appeared, it revealed that you are moving forward with purpose and determination. You're not stuck, you're not looking back, you're not waiting around. You are actively driving your life in the direction you choose, and you're succeeding at it. The Chariot shows someone who has harnessed opposing forces and is using them to propel themselves forward, and that's exactly what the cards showed this person about your current state. You've taken whatever happened between you two, the good and the bad, and you've integrated it and used it as fuel to move forward stronger. The Chariot appearing when they asked about you must have been such a stark contrast to all the other cards that came up for them personally, like the Devil and Eight of Swords and Nine of Swords, showing that they're trapped and suffering, while the Chariot showed that you are victorious and moving forward. That comparison alone probably shattered whatever hope they had that you might be in the same stuck place they are. The Chariot also represents someone who is in the driver's seat of their own life. Someone who has mastered their emotions and their circumstances and is moving forward with confidence. And that's the message the tarot gave this person about you. You're not sitting around thinking about them. You're not consumed by what happened, you're not waiting for them to come back. You are busy winning at life and moving toward your goals and your future. The Chariot is such a strong success card, and it essentially told this person that you are doing absolutely fine without them, actually more than fine, you're thriving. So Aries, let me bring all of this together for you because the overall message of what this person discovered when they asked tarot about you is absolutely profound. They went into that reading, probably hoping for validation or hope or signs that you still care or that there's a chance for reconnection, and instead they got hit with a reality check that completely dismantled their illusions. The cards showed them that they're stuck in fantasy with Seven of Cups, trapped in obsession with the Devil, suffering mentally with Nine of Swords, holding on too tightly with Four of Pentacles, operating in darkness and deception with the Moon, imprisoned by their own limiting beliefs with Eight of Swords, while you Aries are standing your ground with Seven of Wands and moving forward victoriously with the Chariot. The contrast between their energy and your energy that the cards revealed must have been absolutely crushing for them. What's particularly striking about this reading is that when they asked about you, the cards essentially redirected everything back to them and their own issues. The Hermit told them to look within, the Tower destroyed their false beliefs, the Devil exposed their unhealthy attachment, and Eight of Swords showed them they're creating their own prison. Meanwhile, the cards that did speak directly to your energy, Seven of Wands and the Chariot, showed that you are protected, defended, and moving forward successfully. This person learned through tarot that whatever they hoped to find out about you, the real revelation was about themselves and how stuck they are and how far ahead you've moved without them. That's got to be one of the most difficult truths to face when you're still holding on to someone, the realization that they're not holding on to you, that they're actually thriving without you, that everything you built up in your mind about the connection was an illusion. I want you to understand, Aries, that this tarot reading they did about you served as a massive wake-up call for them, whether they're ready to receive it or not. The universe through these cards basically said, stop focusing on this person, stop trying to figure them out, stop obsessing over what could have been, and start dealing with your own healing, your own patterns, your own growth. Every single card pointed back to their internal work that needs to happen. And the cards that spoke about you made it clear that you are not available, you are not interested, you are not waiting, and you are not stuck. You have moved on, you are protected, and you are winning, and that truth probably shattered whatever reality they had constructed in their mind about you still being energetically available to them. The fact that someone felt compelled to ask tarot about you tells me they've been thinking about you a lot, probably more than you realize. But what they discovered was not what they wanted to hear, and that's actually a beautiful thing, Aries, because it means the universe is protecting you through truth. Even when this person tried to reach out energetically by consulting the cards about you, the message they received was essentially leave this person alone. They have moved on, you need to move on, deal with your own stuff, stop living in fantasy and face reality. That's powerful cosmic protection right there. The cards didn't give them any encouragement, they didn't reveal any weakness in your armor, they didn't show any opening for them to slide back into your life, they showed them the door and told them to use it. So what does this mean for you moving forward, Aries? It means you can feel confident that whatever this person thought they knew about you has been completely shattered. If they had any illusions about you pining for them or regretting your decisions or being open to reconnection, those illusions have been destroyed by their own tarot reading. The universe made it very clear to them through the cards that you are not the answer to their problems, you are not responsible for their healing, and you are not available for whatever they thought might still be possible. That's incredibly freeing for you because it means on an energetic level, this person has received a clear message to back off, to let go, to stop projecting onto you, and to start dealing with their own internal work. Whether they actually follow that guidance or not is up to them, but the message has been delivered loud and clear. I also want you to recognize, Aries, that this reading validates everything you've been feeling and doing. The chariot appearing as the representation of your energy confirms that you've been making the right moves, moving in the right direction, building the right life for yourself. You're not running away, you're running toward your own success, your own happiness, your own future. And that forward movement is so powerful that even when someone tries to check in on you energetically through tarot, the cards are like, yeah, they're winning, they're protected, they're not available, move along. That's the kind of energy you want to have, someone whose life force is so directed toward their own growth and success that there's no opening for past connections to seep back in unless you consciously choose to create that opening, which clearly you haven't, and you don't need to. There's something really important here about boundaries too, Aries. 7 of Wands showing up in their reading about you indicates that your boundaries are strong and they're being defended. Whether you consciously put those boundaries in place, or whether they form naturally as you moved forward into your new life, they are there and they are working. This person discovered through tarot that you are not an easy person to get back to, that approaching you would be met with resistance, that your defenses are up and for good reason. That's not you being closed off or cold, that's you being wise and protective of your own energy and peace. The cards validated that your boundaries are appropriate and necessary, and this person now knows on some level that those boundaries exist and are not coming down easily. Another layer to consider is the mental and emotional impact this reading had on this person. 9 of Swords and 8 of Swords together paint a picture of someone who is really struggling psychologically with the situation. They're anxious, they're trapped in their own thoughts, they can't sleep, they can't see clearly, and the tarot reading probably intensified all of that because instead of getting relief or hope, they got confirmation that things are exactly as difficult as they feared. Maybe worse. Part of me feels compassion for that level of suffering because it's not easy to be stuck in that mental space, but another part recognizes that sometimes people need to go through that darkness to finally do the work and make changes they need to make. Maybe this crushing tarot reading will be the catalyst that finally pushes them toward real healing and growth, or maybe they'll stay stuck in the 9 of Swords energy, spiraling and suffering and refusing to remove the 8 of Swords blindfold. Either way, Aries, that's their journey, not yours, and you're not responsible for it. The Devil and 4 of Pentacles combination also tells me that this person has been holding on to the connection in an unhealthy way that borders on addiction or obsession. They've been unable to open their hands and release you, unable to trust that letting go might actually lead to something better, unable to break free from the mental and emotional chains that keep to them tethered to a past that no longer exists. When the tarot revealed this to them, it was probably uncomfortable as hell because nobody wants to see themselves as the obsessed person, as the one who can't let go, as the one whose attachment has become toxic. But that awareness is the first step toward change, so even though it was painful for them to receive that message, it was also necessary. The universe doesn't pull punches when it comes to showing us our shadow sides, and the Devil is one of the most confronting cards in that regard. I'm also picking up on the fact that the Tower and the Moon together suggest that this person has been living in a lot of delusion and denial about the situation with you, and that's all coming crashing down now. The Moon's energy of illusion and confusion combined with the Tower's energy of sudden revelation and destruction means that whatever false narrative they created about you, about the connection, about what happened, is being completely dismantled. They can't hide in the fog of the Moon anymore. The Tower has brought harsh lighting to the situation, and they have to see it for what it really is and was. That's a brutal combination of cards to receive when you're asking about someone you're not over. Because it means you're being forced to face truths you've been avoiding, and those truths are destroying the paces, comfortable lies you've been telling yourself. Something else I want to highlight, Aries, is the Hermit at the beginning of this whole reading because it set the tone for everything that followed. The first message this person received when they asked about you was essentially, you need to go within, you need to be alone with yourself. You need to do some soul searching and figure out your own stuff before you can have any clarity about this person. That's such a crucial message because it immediately redirected the focus from you to them. The Hermit was like, nope, we're not doing a reading about what they think about you or whether they'll come back, we're doing a reading about what you need to understand about yourself. And then every card that followed reinforced that message in different ways, showing them their fantasies, their fears, their toxic patterns, their mental prisons, their need for control. It was like the universe said, since you asked about this person, I'm going to use this opportunity to show you everything that's broken in your approach to relationships, to attachment, to letting go, to love. Aries, I really want you to sit with how powerful it is that even when someone is focusing their energy on you, asking questions about you, consulting divination tools about you, the universe protects you by essentially blocking that energy and redirecting it back to them. That's divine protection in action. You're so aligned with your own path, so committed to your own forward movements, so protected by your own boundaries, and energy that attempts to energetically intrude on you or check up on you or figure you out, get bounced back to the sender with a message of, do your own work and leave this person alone. That's the kind of energetic sovereignty that comes from really truly moving on, not just saying you've moved on, but actually embodying that forward motion that the chariot represents. Let's talk about what you should do with this information, Aries, because knowing that someone asked tarot about you and got their reality shattered is interesting, but what matters is how you use this knowledge. First of all, continue doing exactly what you've been doing. The chariot energy that showed up for you is so strong and so clear that it's obvious you're on the right path. Keep moving forward, keep building your life, keep focusing on your goals and your growth and your happiness. Don't let the knowledge that someone is still thinking about you, consulting cards about you, suffering over you derail your momentum in any way. Their journey is their journey and your journey is your journey, and those two paths have diverged for a reason. Second, maintain those boundaries that Seven of Wands represents. If this person tries to reach out to you based on what they learned from their tarot reading, or in spite of what they learned, you get to decide how to respond or whether to respond at all. You don't owe anyone access to you just because they're struggling, or just because they finally had some realization, or just because they can't let go. Your peace is precious, your energy is valuable, your life is yours to direct, and you've been doing such a good job of that. Don't let anybody guilt you or manipulate you or convince you that you need to help them heal or give them closure or explain yourself. You are under no obligation to be part of anyone else's healing journey, especially if that person is someone you've already moved on from. Third, recognize that this situation validates your decisions. Whatever led to you moving forward away from this connection, it was the right call. The fact that when this person consulted tarot about you, the cards essentially told them you're thriving and they're stuck means you made the correct choice for yourself. Trust your instincts, Aries, trust your boundaries, trust your forward movement, and don't second-guess yourself just because you now know someone else is struggling with your absence. Their struggle is not your responsibility, and it doesn't mean you made the wrong choice. It means they haven't done their work yet, and that's okay, but it's not your problem to solve. Fourth, stay alert to any attempts at contact or manipulation. When someone gets a tarot reading that shatters their reality about you, they might respond in a few different ways. Some people finally accept the truth and do the work to heal and let go. Other people double down on their attachment and become more persistent in trying to reconnect or get a response from you. And some people oscillate between those two modes, going back and forth between acceptance and desperate attempts at contact. You know this person better than I do. So trust your read on how they might respond, but just be aware that a shattered reality can sometimes lead to unpredictable behavior. Keep your boundaries firm, keep your focus on yourself, and don't engage with any energy that feels manipulative or desperate. Finally, Aries, use this as a reminder of how powerful you are. The fact that even when someone is actively trying to figure you out through spiritual means, the universe blocks them and protects you shows that you are divinely guided and supported right now. Your energy is so aligned, your path is so clear, your boundaries are so strong that nothing and no one can penetrate that unless you consciously allow it. That's real power, not power over other people, but power over your own life, your own energy, your own direction, and that's the most important kind of power there is. You're not available because you don't want to be available, and the universe is backing that up at every level, including when people try to access you energetically through tarot readings. One more thing I want to mention is that this reading they did about you probably cost them something energetically. When you consult tarot, you're opening yourself up to truth, and sometimes that truth is painful, and sometimes that pain is exactly what you needed, but it still takes a toll. This person opened themselves up hoping for comfort or hope or validation, and instead they got demolished by reality, and that's going to leave a mark. They're going to be processing what those cards told them for a while, probably cycling through denial, anger, bargaining, depression before maybe reaching acceptance, and during that time they're going to be energetically messy. That's another reason to maintain your distance and your boundaries, Aries, because someone who just got their reality shattered is not someone who's going to be stable or healthy to interact with, even if they try to reach out with good intentions. So here's what I want you to walk away with from this reading, Aries. Someone asked tarot about you hoping for one thing and got something completely different. They got a reality check that destroyed their illusions, exposed their unhealthy patterns, and showed them that you are protected, defended, and thriving without them. The cards essentially told this person to leave you alone, do their own work, and stop living in fantasy about what you meant or mean to them. That's beautiful cosmic protection for you and validation that you're on the right path. Continue moving forward with the chariot energy. Continue defending your space with the Seven of Wands energy, and trust that the universe has your back, even when people try to check in on you energetically. You're winning, Aries, and even the cards know it. Hey, before you go, I'm really curious. Has anyone from your past been on your mind lately? Or have you felt any weird energy, like someone might be thinking about you? Because this reading suggests there's definitely been some energetic attention on you recently. Let me know in the comments what resonates with you from this reading, and remember, you don't owe anyone access to your life just because they can't let go of you. Keep winning, keep moving forward, and keep being the powerful Aries that you are. Sending you so much love and protection.